Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I got Jackson here, right here with me. Anyway, let's get this update done real quick. I want to look at the option trades for tomorrow for the Defiance funds and also some of the Yield Max funds. And also, we'll take a look at the buffer report, and we're also going to look at one or two other things. But let's start with we'll look at the profit boxes too. Okay, let's start with the options trades for tomorrow. We'll start with JEPI. They sold 262 puts at the 51.45 strike for $13.66. All right, 13.66 subtracted from 51.45 is 51.31.34. So that number's our break even. We need at least that number to break even, okay? Total profit we're going for is $357,000, which is quite a bit less than the other day. Look at how the premium collapsed for some reason. 21 instead of 13. Now, there was a big number that was coming out on Friday that scared everyone to death, and it turned out to be fine, and the market blew up. So now that the market's okay again and people aren't worried about the number or anything, these one-day options dropped quite a bit. It looks like by about, I don't know, 40%, 30%, something like that. Okay. Anyway, 357,000 is 27 basis points, and that would bring the EPS up to 17 cents positive on the month. Did we ever even have 17 cents positive last month? We had 17 cents negative a couple of times. We never even had 17 cents positive last month. So we're already doing better. Well, heck, right now we're doing better than the last month. We never even had 13 cents a share positive last month. Anyway, so month starting off on a good point, it's starting off well. Keep your fingers crossed. All right, let's look over here at the old Mr. Spreadsheet. So JPY trades SPX options, of course. Look at that SPX chart. Closed on the highs. You know what that means for tomorrow? What it usually means. The real signal was closing on the highs Thursday, and then we had a blow up on Friday. Here's an example of when it didn't work. We closed on the highs Tuesday also. Wednesday was a choppy day, but then Thursday and Friday we took off. All right, it doesn't always work, just something I like to look at. But there's our profit box, and it looks like we have the intrinsic and the extrinsic color code mixed up. All right, but anyway, that's a good-looking profit box. Not super tall, not super thick, but we'll see what we can do with it. Triple QY. All right, well, back to JPY, and I fixed the rolling estimate thing. So right now we're at a projection of 55 cents. The other day it was given jacked up numbers, but I reviewed all three of them. They're back to working. The formula's back to working, I think. Okay. These guys sold 163 puts at the 18,350 level for $81. Go call it $82. Subtract 82 from 18,350 and you get 18,268, right? So 18,268 is the minimum we need to get to make a profit. If we hit the strike price or above, we make a full profit. A full profit's 1.3 million. It's 45 basis point capture. These guys, let's see if their volatility didn't shrink as much. It just shrunk from 90 to 80. That's, what is that, 10%, something. S&P volatility really came in based on what the option they sold was. It could have been a different distance out of the money. There could be some other factors, but just eyeballing it, it looks like it's really come in. So this would bring their earnings per share estimate to 25 cents positive, and they never had, the highest they had last month was 16 cents a share positive. So that would be great. I'm sorry. And it would bring the dividend estimate up to 65 cents. Anyway, we shall see how we turn out on that one. Let's look at the chart. Boy, that's a good looking chart. That is just something else. All right, well, oh, NDQ. Okay, well, we need NDX, not NDQ. So we can see the profit box. All right, and there is the profit box. Let's look at IWMY. Why don't we? I need to hurry and finish this before the sun hits my face. They sold 660 puts at the 2085 levels. 2085's max profit, but they received $15 for them. Subtract $15 from 2085 and you have 2070. So 2070 is the minimum profit, right? They're going for a total of $979,000. That would take them to. Something's messed up there. Don't worry about the earnings per share. The earnings per share don't even matter that much anyway because they pay based on the extrinsic, not the earnings. I'll fix that by next time. And earnings per share do matter because it has a factor on how steady the the NAV stays, not the dividend. But it helps the dividend stay steady too. Okay, so but the estimate of the dividend for next month's $1.18 right now. It's very early, so take that with a grain of salt. Here's the chart. Here's the chart with the profit box. Boy, this one has been real hit or miss. It either closes way above the box or way under the box. There's not a whole lot of in between with IWMY. It has a lot of variance in its daily results. All right, well, let's look at ULTY. I really don't have anything prepared for you guys on this one. I just can't do any better than Corey's doing covering this right now. I am trying to think of my own way where I can cover this and not step on anyone else's toes, or it's not really about stepping on toes. I don't want to do that, of course, but where I can bring a different perspective than maybe Corey or any other YouTubers doing. I'm working on an idea right now, but suffice it to say, it's a great stock. Go watch Corey. And also the other day, if you guys were watching my update, I was griping about these assets under management and shares and how I was having problems figuring out the technology and getting them to update live, and I would have to switch back and forth and type stuff in manually. I didn't even ask Corey, and she's a National Guard. She had drill this weekend. Somehow she found time to watch my video, and she made a comment. She told me exactly how to fix it. So God bless Corey. So now these updates take way less time to do, and I'm going to try to start doing the updates earlier. That's what, today I'm doing it. Usually I don't do them until 9 or 10, but today I'm doing it at 4:30 Central Time, and I'm going to be done, and then I'm going to take Jax to the park. All right, to the dog park, I should say. But I'll come up with something on ULTY. Okay, on TRES. Let's look at TRES. They're about even on this darn thing. Look at that's the profit and loss graph at expiration. But I'm showing right now. I'm showing them down just a little bit on this trade. But let's look at, oh, and I didn't update this. I think I did this the other day, though. I did update this Friday night, or Thursday night, maybe. The Valley of Death box. I made it go out another week. Okay, yeah. Let's see, when does that go to? Well, it goes out to Wednesday. Anyway, all right. So you can see what we're pulling for here. If you want to have something to root for, we're rooting for higher TLT prices. 97 would be great. Or even if we got drastically lower ones, that would work as well. We'll keep an eye on that. Right now, I would say this position's about even for the month. They took a profit earlier last week. They sold half of their, I'm sorry, they didn't sell. They bought half of their puts. Of course, they sell the puts short to open first. Anyway, they bought half of their short puts back, and they realized some profit. So that's good. That's good. I'll keep an eye on this, but so far they have not made any other adjustments. Now let's look at let's do this. Let's look at these single stocks. Let's look at TSLY's profit boxes, or Tesla, however you want to think of it. We're looking at Tesla to talk about TSLY. All right, so that's not a great looking profit box. I think I meant to have it at 225. Yeah, close enough for government work. Okay, but that is, there's the profit box. So we have quite a bit of room to appreciate this week, capture some upside and capture some premium. That'd be great. So now let's talk about NVDY. We got to check NVIDIA. This one, most of their strikes are up here at the 850 level. There's something down here at 825. It's just 45 contracts, and I don't really understand it. I think it's left over from another trade or something, but the bulk of their contracts, their short calls are up here. So we're looking for a price in NVIDIA. Hopefully, we'll appreciate to 850 this week. Of course, if it goes beyond 850, we'll be capped, and the fund managers might roll up to a different option. I'll try to figure out what's the deal with this 825. I just put it on there kind of tentatively. The thing that throws me off, this 850 expires on Friday, and they usually sell weekly calls for income. Well, this 825 doesn't expire until March 24th. So I don't know if it's part of an old synthetic, or I'm not really sure, but our routing number is 850. So let's look at CONY. To look at CONY, we have to examine Coinbase. All right. Now these guys have a lot of, they rolled out to the 240. So 240 is the number we're looking for in Coinbase by the end of the week. That would be ideal. And also we have MSTY. All right, so these guys now have 3 options. Let me try to make that a little better. These guys now, so they've scattered the strikes, which is good. Most of them are up here. This one doesn't have very many. This one doesn't have very many contracts. Of course, someone always calls me. Hang on, I'm going to put this damn thing on pause and take this call. All right, my apologies. I needed to take that call. Boy, look at this. I always love closing on the highs. This stock closed the week on the highs, too. Probably the month. It closed everything on the highs. I mean, that was the month. Well, it wasn't the month, but it was one day after the month. They did close the month close to the highs because the day before was the end of the month. Okay, so they have their strikes pretty scattered. So let's see. Let's look at the buffer report. Last week was just such an impressive week for everything. It's taking just a second to load. I appreciate your patience. Looks like the sun went behind the cloud. It's getting kind of warm out here. Yeah, I just want to get this darn thing over with so I can go take Jackson to the dog park. It's not really a dog park. It's a middle school, but they have a track and they have a playground or whatever. But whenever school's not in session, people from my neighborhood go up there with their dogs, and I'm trying to get Jack more socialized. He's not really that good with other dogs. He's kind of shy and submissive. I have no idea why this is taking so long. All right, well, guess what? I'm just going to cancel the buffer report. It's not even that big of a deal. Hopefully you guys saw it Friday night when I did it. I don't know what the deal is. At least the spreadsheets are going better. You guys have a great evening. I'll be back in the morning with an update. We'll see how everything opens up. I'll be back probably at 8:45 or 9, which would actually be 9:45 or 10 Eastern time, but Central time I'll be back about 8:45. All right, guys, thank you very much.